You thinking about moving to Rochester, Minnesota? Wondering if you'll be saving money or just trading sky-high rent for heating bills and a fancy snow shovel you didn't even know existed? I'm going to walk you through exactly what it costs to live here in 2025. From housing and healthcare, groceries and gas, no sugarcoating, no sales pitch, just real-world insights from a local who knows how to break this all down. I'm Andrew Norrie. I help smart, grounded people buy and sell homes here in Rochester, especially for folks who are relocating for jobs at Mayo Clinic, IBM, or just looking for a place where the cost of living doesn't make them break out in hives. I grew up here, moved away, came back like a boomerang, but with better insulation. So I know what it's actually like to live here in this town and what surprises people when they get here. Look, I get it. This content can be a little dry. But for the right person, my hope is that it's a wealth of knowledge. For others, I guess I'll try and keep it as engaging as possible. Maybe instead of just charts and graphs, I'll throw in some B-roll of puppies just to keep you on your toes. But you'll have to watch till the end to find out. First, let's talk about housing, because frankly, that's the biggest number. And you didn't mishear me. I said housing, as in, yeah, you can actually afford to live indoors. In 2025, the median home price here is around $340,000. That gets you 3 to 4 beds, 2 baths, about 1,900 finished square feet, probably built in the 80s or the 90s, 2-car garage, and likely a finished basement. Certainly you could pay more for something turnkey and shiny, but yeah, you could also pay less if you're into sweat equity and some sweet old carpet. The average rent here, a 1-bed's going to be about $1,450, 2 beds $1,700, and you can still find 3-bedroom single-family homes for under $2,000 a month. Unless you're getting really fancy, at which point you're probably not worried about the short-term cost of a rental while you're shopping for the right house. Compared to cities like Chicago or Seattle, this feels like finding out your favorite restaurant does half-price whiskey night every night. Property taxes here are about 1.34% of your home's value. So on that $340K, you're looking at about $4,500 a year. It's more than some states and less than others. And unlike parts of Jersey or Illinois, your home's not going to need a second job to pay its own taxes. As a bonus, most single-family homes here don't have HOAs, which means nobody's going to fine you for putting up your Halloween decorations early because freedom. Utility rates here are surprisingly reasonable, unless you're allergic to the cold. Monthly utilities run about $250 total. Electric, gas, water, sewer. Nothing wild, but let's be honest, we're talking about averages here. If you set your thermostat to 75 degrees on the coldest winter nights and run your gas fireplace year-round in a house with R5 insulation and 40-year-old windows, your numbers are going to be significantly higher. Electricity, $170 a month, lower than the US average. Natural gas, $50 to $80 a month, higher in January, lower in July. Water sewer, $30 to $50 a month. Trash pickup, $75 a quarter, I think. Feels free almost. And companies like Minnesota Energy offer even pay billing that spreads your costs evenly across the year, so you're not suddenly ambushed by a $400 gas bill in February. It's the kind of setup where you don't dread the utility bill, and unless you've got a house full of teenagers taking 40-minute showers in January. Transportation's also a big issue. Here, a 17-minute commute is considered long. Right now, gas in Rochester is running about $3 a gallon. Commute times, again, 15 minutes on average. I've had phone calls that last longer than that. Car insurance in Rochester is the cheapest in Minnesota. $1,345 a year, $1,350 for full coverage. That's because people here drive like they're trying to not spill their coffee, and it works. If you don't drive, public transit, $2 a ride, $42 a month for a pass. Won't win any awards for frequency, but it gets you to work, to the clinic, downtown without needing a car. There's also 100+ miles of bike trails, which some people use enthusiastically year-round. Groceries are kind of a hot button issue at the moment. It's slightly above average, but you're going to survive. Groceries here cost about 2% more than the national average, which is not exactly sticker shock, but you're going to notice milk's nearly $5 a gallon and eggs are about $3.60 a dozen, unless you're buying the fancy ones that are apparently laid by chickens with more Instagram followers than I have and a podcast about living with ADHD in the material world. Bread is about $4. Produce is pretty average. Meat's fine. You're not paying $8 for a head of lettuce like you might be in California, but you're not getting everything dirt cheap either. The good news? We've got Hy-Vee, Aldi, Trader Joe's, not to mention Targets, Walmarts, etc. We've also got solid farmers markets in the warmer months, and plus Rochester's international population means you're randomly going to find kimchi or Finnish rye bread at your regular grocery store. Shopping here is surprisingly cosmopolitan. Fifth cost to consider is healthcare. Here you get Mayo quality and usually not Mayo prices. Rochester's healthcare is about 4% higher than average, which makes sense because we've got the Mayo Clinic in town. That's like living next to Harvard and expecting tuition to be $17 a credit hour. Routine doctor visit probably costs you $150 out of pocket, but if you've got decent health insurance through work, you're in good shape. And if you do end up needing major medical care, you are absolutely in the right place. Look, a lot of folks cross oceans to come here for treatment. You're just going across town, and that's a big deal. Childcare and education costs can also vary wildly, and it's one of the pricier line items. Daycare costs $1,000 to $1,500 a month per child, depending on the provider and the child's age. Obviously, infants cost more. Preschoolers a bit less. Either way, it's real money. There was a period of time where our monthly daycare bill exceeded our mortgage, and that was no joke. That said, public schools in Rochester are strong, free, and backed by a community that values education. Makes sense in a city where a good chunk of the population has at least one advanced degree, and pretty strong opinions about Montessori. Private school is an option. On average, it's about $9,200 a year, which is more than the Minnesota average, but obviously less than the East Coast. Dining and entertainment has gotten better over the years, and it can still be wallet-friendly. Eating out's totally doable. Casual meal, $25. Mid-range dinner for two, probably $100. McDonald's combo, I guess, is $11 these days, but a pint of craft beer here is $6, so worth it. You're not going to find 3 Michelin star tasting menus here, but you'll find legit Thai, sushi, wood-fired pizza, and farm-to-table bistros that don't try too hard. Entertainment, pretty average. Movie tickets, $12. Gym membership, $20 to $70 a month. Live shows, $20 to $50. $15 for baseball games, and lots of free summer festivals that include suspiciously enthusiastic patrons. You're not spending big city money, and you're not getting nickel to dime for parking and venue fees. And when you want a little more, the Twin Cities are just an hour away, and your options widen fast. That brings us to taxes, which are not great, but not awful. Minnesota has 4 income tax brackets, and most folks don't really understand how those work because instead of teaching that to us in school, we were busy climbing the rope in gym class. Good times. But I'll tell you, for most folks here, it lands at around 7.85%. If you're coming from Florida or Texas, that may sting until you realize it means we have infrastructure and community resources that work. If you're from California, I'm guessing you just started clapping. Sales tax here is 7.875%, but groceries and clothing are tax exempt, and that adds up, especially if you've got growing kids or shop like one. Property taxes, again, the 1.34% of your home's value, on par with national averages, but less than places like Jersey or Illinois. So how does it all add up? Say Rochester versus the world. Rochester's cost of living index is right at the national average, but our median income's higher at $87,000, which means more breathing room. Compared to Minneapolis, we're about 5 to 10% cheaper overall, especially on housing. Compared to Chicago, 12 to 13% cheaper. San Francisco, we're practically paying you to live here. And unlike some cheap cities where costs are low because services are non-existent, here you get good schools, clean parks, and buses that actually run. If this all sounds appealing to you and you're thinking about relocating here, I would love to help. I specialize in working with relocation buyers, especially folks who are headed here for Mayo or IBM. No pressure, just honest insight and a smooth process. You can book a quick planning call with me or just shoot me a message and let me know what you're curious about. In the end, Rochester's not flashy, but it's affordable in the ways that matter. You can own a home, raise a family, walk your dog on actual sidewalks, and then go out to dinner without checking your bank balance first. And yeah, winter's a thing, but so's a well-designed mudroom and fleece-lined everything. If this video helped, hit the like button, subscribe for more local insight, and drop a comment below if there's a cost category I didn't cover. I read them all, even the weird ones. Welcome to Rochester. Bring a coat and shorts. The weather changes daily. Thanks for watching.